You feel like it's never enough. You feel like your net worth is never going to increase. And despite all your efforts, it feels like trying to fill a whole bucket. And today we're going to discuss just this and what are the common wealth killers that are clawing most of the developed world. Hi guys, my name is Giuseppe and I'm a finance graduate, former financial analyst and money nerd. And today we're going to analyze some of the most draining choices that people make and that usually influence negatively their net worth over time. So without further ado, let's get started. Car. By doing some research, I found this statistic from the company LeasePlan from 2022 that shows the car cost index. This is how expensive it is to own a car in Europe per month. And on average, we have numbers that range between 905 euros in Greece up until 1,313 euros in Switzerland. Now, take this information with a grain of salt, because these are data from a car leasing company, so they're probably biased a little bit. But nevertheless, it is definitely realistic imagining this kind of numbers whenever you count for depreciation, road tax, energy and fuel, insurance, repair, and finally interest. Now let's focus on the first and the last one. Depreciation and interest. When you buy a car, especially if you get debt for that, you're basically paying interest over an asset that depreciates. And it depreciates by a lot. By the moment you leave the car dealership, it probably had already lost more than 1,000 euros. And it keeps going down as the time passes and the miles increases. But the bulk of this depreciation happens in the first 4 to 5 years. A period in which something like 50% of the value of the car disappears. In that moment, you're probably gonna have the best deal in terms of reliability of the car and price, if the car has been maintained well. So if you look to make a ton of kilometers on a car and you just need a workhorse, it might be better to buy something used in the 3 to 5 years of ownership and take advantage of that depreciation first instead of buying a new one. I remember taking a look at car prices and thinking something like, what the fuck, that guy has something like 30 to 40k spared just to buy a car? It must be loaded. Then you grow up and you understand that the vast majority of the cars are bought through loans, leases, rented, or maybe they're company cars, and people are just flexing. If you're still going to buy a car, well, understand how much you're gonna use it, because in many cities of Europe, public transportations work just fine, and for the few times they're not enough, it might be smarter to take a taxi, a car share, or rent a car. Think about it. Divorce. Okay, in many Western countries, many marriages end up in divorce. A very big percentage of that, something like more than 50%. Useless to say that this can cause some nefarious consequences on your finances, with direct costs such as alimony, legal expenses, asset splits, and everything around that, and indirect consequences, mainly due to the effects on your work capacity. For example, you might want to take some time off because you don't feel like working, you might need to see a psychologist or talk with attorneys, and everything that comes after. In a nutshell, divorce is a mess and it's never funny. And you will probably exit poorer than you entered. There is not a real solution except marrying the right person that you cannot know in advance, or have a prenup. But I am not an attorney and I'm not married, so I can't really suggest you to talk with an attorney about this. But yeah, just keep in mind that marrying the wrong person can easily ruin your life. Not investing or inflation. Another silent killer of your wealth is gonna be inflation, aka the loss of purchasing power of your money over time. If you do not know what inflation is, I made a video about that. But in a nutshell, inflation is the yearly decrease in the purchasing power of your money that is estimated to be around 2% per year, compounded over time. Meaning that if you leave 1,000 euros in your 0% interest account for 10 years, those 1,000 euros will have the same purchasing power of 817 euros after 10 years, if we assume a steady inflation rate of 2% over 10 years. That is why money needs to be put at work by acquiring assets that can shield you from inflation and grow your wealth. Ideally, you want to keep some money liquid on your high interest saving account as an emergency fund and invest everything that you do not plan to spend in the next 3 years. By not investing, you're gonna get hit by inflation and you're gonna miss out on some gains on the market. So yeah, learn how to invest. Everything you can buy financing. This includes a wide range of things. Basically everything that you can acquire through financing except cars and houses. So consumer debt, predatory debt, high interest debt, payday loans, basically debt. If you cannot afford it in cash, probably you cannot afford it. And this is true for, well, 99% of things outside cars and houses. And I'm excluding cars here just because if you need it to work, well, okay, buy it if needed. Maybe try to avoid financing, please, but it's up to you. So guys, here you have it, the 4 most dangerous wealth killers. If you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and you might also be interested in how you can retire in 15 years. And you can find it here. Bye!